wanted to play the organ for the trees. No, for the boys. No, that doesn't sound right either. But it can't be denied that they're trees. Yet, I can't even prove to their own parents that they're boys. Barb beeped the horn. She immediately sprung into action. But what's the plan? I guess the plan is to get those guys. I picked up one of the knives the flower freaks dropped and hopped into the back of the truck. I would have liked to grab my nailed bat, but there was no time. It was pretty easy to catch up to the nude woman running from 4 flower freaks in the middle of the road. I still cursed my past self for not leaving the bat in the back of the truck. I should always have it in the back of the truck. The wind blew warm against my face because my anger burned so hot. Whatever happened to the cops? I held on tight because she was driving fast. Soon we saw the galloping crowd of dangerous flower freaks chasing my sister-in-law. We caught up to them. I was glad Barb was driving because I might have rammed into her aggressors. I could see myself doing that. It would be so easy. But Patty was still winning her race, clutching onto her box of flowers and following the powerful halogen flashlight beam in broad daylight. I looked at Patty's face as the truck hovered near her. She seemed unaware of us, as did her aggressors. They just ignored us. It was like as if we were spectators in a holographic movie, driving around like future movies are going to be like zoos. You just drive around and you see what you're going to see. It didn't seem like Patty anymore because she seemed so weak and scared now. Her face was like a frightened infant. I used to almost respect her seemingly endless fount of self-righteous power freakery, but this is where the ideas she pushed led to. I didn't feel like gloating. I was sad for her and wanted the woke Patty back because she seemed indomitable. Could it all have been a front? Barb drove so close that I was forced to grab and pull her up. I was afraid or expecting her to reject me, to tell me to bug off, old Patty, but she didn't act like she even knew I was there until I held on to her. And as soon as I held on to her, she reached up to me, and the look of desperation on her face as she clutched, it made me feel so guilty for hating her for so long. It was just a quick moment when she was in my arms holding on to me. I felt like how I felt holding my young kids so many years ago. Her nudity wasn't sexy. She wasn't nude. She was naked. She flopped onto the deck like a broken life form, and the look on her face looked like she was always one split second before a kick in the head. It was frozen into the look of anticipation a person has before that impact. I could tell she was struggling to open her eyes, so I shielded the sun with my body. Instead, she gave up and squinted, but then surprised me by clutching onto me like for dear life, with love and forgiveness. All the hate between us melted away. Barb drove over a speed bump. Boom, but it didn't affect the flower freaks at all. They stood there with their grimaces that looked like grins but weren't really grins. They were so quick that they just grabbed onto the truck when I grabbed Patty. Their fingers must be incredibly strong as they held on just with their fingers, and as much as Patty moved to the right or to the left or whatever she did, their bodies just flew behind and smacked into the truck this way or smacked into the truck that way. It was all the same, just with their fingers and their faces over the box of the truck. All 3 of the goons, they were connected to the truck's walls with their fingers clutching to the metal, their awful grimaces hidden behind the truck walls of the box, while their noses snuggled over the wall. Barb moved from left to right, from left to right, left to right, stop. speed bumps. Even went over the sidewalk, but their bodies perfectly adapted every time. One of them had all of his teeth cracked, so then after that, they all rested their chins over the truck bed wall instead. And by that, they realized that they could worm and wiggle their ways into the truck like slow motion snakes, with Barb squealing right and left. I booted them all repeatedly in the face over and over. While I laid on my back, it gave me a lot of leverage to hit them really hard. Whap, whap, whap. But it never made a difference. I never stopped hitting them, too, all the way through. Just whap, whap in their faces. Their faces barely bled, though. They kept their grimaces without change, like as if their faces were made of plastic, and they kept... It wasn't a smile. It's like a mocking smile when the eyes don't join in on the smile. Their worming technique was working, and they were almost going to drop into the truck with Patty and me. My only chance was in Patty's hands. I had to just give them the damn flowers. That's all they wanted. But Patty wouldn't let go, so I put my fingers under her underarms and tickled her, which worked. She let go of the box, and the flower freaks that were just about to kill me instantly looked up when I held the box up in the air, and when I let it go, the box stayed where it was in the air while we zoomed forward in the truck at high speed. The flower freaks instantly jumped off without a moment of thought. They each collapsed onto the ground and wasted no time rolling around and getting up, running to the box before the wind blew the flowers away. Barb made a U-turn and drove back to the house. Patty was in pain. Her eyes seemed permanently shut at this point, but she was shaking in a spasm of grief and anxiety. Maybe, what do I know? She might have been thinking of anything. After all, she's on these flowers. She could be in hell right now. That's one of the symptoms. They go in hell. They either go to hell or else it's like a hallucination of hell. I don't know. But she could be a flower petal in the ocean of flower petals right now, making flower petal waves. You don't know where a person on the flower petals are. You don't know where their heads are, ever. What I didn't know was that she was thinking of Martin, her husband, her ex-husband, not Marcy. She couldn't think of Marcy. Marty would show up in her dreams all the time. Once Patty asked Marty in a dream if he stopped being Marcy. It's like, what? You're Marty again. And he just looked at Patty with a look of terrible fear. He put his fingers to his lips to say shh and whispered, "Don't wake her up. Let her sleep." Then she saw her body passed out on the table with rainbow flowers sprinkled on her. She noticed her body was chewing the flowers, and she had a mouthful. "This is a special day. Her face will be used for a garden spout." Nucky didn't know. Patty was always thinking of Marty, because she thought of class oppression and supporting other causes so much. They were really just an effort to cope with losing her husband to a political ideology that she embraced. She embraced it, and that made him incapable of being a husband. Barb was annoyed with Nucky because she thought this was obvious. It didn't need to be said. "Why didn't you tell me this before?" I said to Barbara. "You didn't care. You hated her," Barb said. "I didn't hate her. She was just a woke nag. She was everything. She wanted me to wear a mask inside of my own house. It's hard to tolerate because she doesn't tolerate anybody. If you bend to her, it's not even her will. She's okay, Barb said. Well, it's not so simple as you hate her. I don't hate her. But if you told me she was always crying about Marty and thinking about him, I would have been more understanding. I thought she cared about the things that she was yelling at me for. Well, you weren't understanding, Nucky. And she wasn't understanding to me. Well, it doesn't matter anymore. Marty's most likely a tree now. I helped Barb tie Patty to the chair tightly, and foolproof this time. We both carried her out to the trees. I told Barb I was going to play the organ for the trees, and that her and Patty had to see this. Of course, she thought it sounded a bit nutty, but that's one of the things about Barb. Nutty ideas, doing stuff that completely breaks the routine of reality. It revitalizes her every time. It wasn't dark yet, so the neighbors wouldn't complain this time. When we're all ready, I said, I'm not going to play anything amazing. They like it most if I just play 2 chords. And it was starting to get dark, and Patty's eyes started opening a little. And when she opened them, she saw the trees were dancing. The flowers must have lost their effect at this point. It must have seemed like a weird jail to be tied to a chair and forced to look at 3 trees, but the trees are dancing. Oh my God, Barb was aghast. She said, oh my God, I can't believe what I'm seeing. Patty was so unresponsive. She was still unresponsive, but look closely. She's shedding tears. And when one tree said to her, hello, I'm Robert, her eyes opened even more. Barb said, Robert. Yes, Robert said. Robert from next door. Robert, who we were all looking for. That day was so hard on me. Everyone was calling me. That's all I heard was everybody calling my name. But I couldn't say anything because I was a tree. But it helped, you know. I didn't know I was Robert until I heard them calling me Robert. I thought I was a tree. I actually thought I transformed into a tree. Whoa, Barb said. That must have been... It was really sad because I called back to them. And I tried to call back to them, but I no matter what I did, nobody could hear me. But I could hear them all night. Patty finally spoke. And she said, I'm so... Roberta. Shh, Robert said. That name takes me away from being a boy again. You're not being polite. Just call me Robert. I just want to be real. Nothing is better than being real. I'm Robert. I'm a boy inside. I'm a boy only inside. That still doesn't make me a boy. I'm still a tree, though. No matter what, I'm a tree. If I look like a tree, I'm a tree. The only way to get back to being a human again is to stop denying I'm a boy. I'm sorry. No, it's all right. It's all right. It's a touchy issue with me. Every word Robert said, Patty was relating it to her ex-husband, Marty. After Hayden and William introduced themselves, she said, hey, wait a minute. You mean all the trees? The other trees? The other rainbow flower trees? They're all trans people? No, they're trans trees. I think that's the proper name or title. Yes, that's how you say it. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry. But this means that Marty is a tree too? I think so, Hayden said to her. I think this is because I can feel it. I can feel it. I might be just imagining this, but I could feel the other trees. All of them are us. Are you thinking you could play organ for him too? Don't call him Marcy, though. Don't feed into it. If he doesn't own up to being a man, he'll never become one again. He'll always be a tree. Or who knows what. Maybe we'll turn into something after. He has to believe in himself. Patty looked at me, and I let go of all of the hate we fostered between each other the last few months. After Marty left her to be a woman, I'm going to get Marty back to her somehow. I vowed to myself, I'm going to get Marty back to her somehow. But first, I'll get Robert, William, and Hayden back, walking, being boys if I can. The three of us watched the trees dance to my organ playing. Robert's face showed up and sang Iron Man. He wasn't very good, but Robert's face was in the middle of a tree singing to us. It was pretty cool. We wrapped it up, and they produced a great harvest of rainbow flowers. Barb and I put it into boxes. This will sell for a lot of money. Sounds crass, but it isn't. We need food. And we're not allowed to work. Patty was so compliant and friendly now, but we still tied her up for the night.
What will happen if the man with the Rorschach face comes back? Will Patty ever get her husband back? Will Nucky ever play a full song? Find out in next chapter installment of Nucky Gulliver's Travels.
Click below for joyful hours of comic book fun. El Shaddai 2, that's El Shaddai 2 is the one who I would say buy first, and then Trump, whether you love him or you hate him, like it's a book for everyone. And all the rest, fairy tale books and other stuff. It's all good. Yeah.
Buy my books and like and subscribe.